Too expensive compared to what exactly? What is it too expensive to? Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so I have been going back into my whole real estate journey, doing house tours, and the construction of my own house will be continuing very soon. Now, there is a few things. So I recently did a video on these barn style houses, which were, they're just so beautiful, so beautiful. And looking at the comment section about the video, a lot of the comments were very much that the house is overpriced and we can get it cheaper. You can always get something cheaper. Always. Getting something cheaper is never going to be an issue. You can always get something cheaper. But when you're talking about the quality of things, that's what you have to think about. These stunning 4-bedroom barn-style homes are located in East Legon Hills. If you've been looking for something spacious and airy with that luxury feel, these properties might be exactly what you're looking for. Does boil down to quality, and I have been to the house and I can tell you that it's done so nice. Whenever I talk about the house, I always say it's really exquisite because it just has this luxury feel about it that I really love, and you can feel it as soon as you enter the property. It's just so nice. And the reason for me wanting to do this video is because I really want to shed some light on some things, right, when it comes to properties in Ghana. As I said before, you can always get it cheaper. Yes, even land. You can get a piece of land in cantonments for $1 million if you want. You can get you can get the same amount of land in Kaswa if you want. But compare the two areas. They're not comparable in that sense. So yes, you're going to pay less there, but actually what is the other side of that paying less? Because there's a consequence to paying less, and there always is going to be. That's just a fact of it. So yes, you can get it cheaper, but there's always something else that's going to come up besides that, right? So you have to really understand before you make your purchase what it is that you're actually buying. So although it is, you can look at it and say, okay, but it's just a piece of land. You have to look at the surrounding areas, exactly what the environment that you're buying into. Does it make sense for you? Because you buy a piece of land in somewhere like Kaswa or Weja, those places which are a bit further out, which are definitely 100% going to get land cheaper. Definitely go for it. By all means, buy 10 plots if you want. I'm not saying don't buy it. If it works for you, that works for you. And I'm not insulting those places. I'm just saying if that works for you, then go for it. But what I want you to realize is if you work in the city and you have to come in every day, I guarantee you by the time you calculate the cost of going up and down, the price of you buying that plot of land that you just bought or that house that you just bought starts to diminish because it just doesn't make sense. Not to mention the fact that when you buy these kind of places, you have to see what it's like during certain times. I've said this in a video before, right? So before you buy a piece of land or you buy a piece of house or you buy a house or something like that, it's great if you can get an idea of what it's like when it has rained so that you can see what the lead up to the property is like. And I just think that, okay, so I'm just using, because it's the last video that I did on property, right? I'm using the barn style houses as an example for you to understand what I'm saying. Now, 279 for these huge barn style houses, right? 279, it's a 4-bedroom house. To me, I have seen lots of properties in Ghana, and literally this house you could pick up and put it in cantonments, zero issues, but it's not going to be that price. It wouldn't be, because if you see the work that has gone into the building, it can't be. The cost of materials and building right now is so expensive, not even to mention the cost of land. Like we're not even thinking about land. We're talking about East Legon Hills here. So the cost of the land alone, you can buy a land in East Legon Hills. The last time I checked, it might, yeah, maybe 60K. That might not even be genuine. 100 maybe. So just let's say, for argument's sake, the land is valued at $100,000. Now you're only actually paying 179 for the house. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to weigh up these things. So you can't just look at the house as a standalone and say, okay, well, the house is 279 and it's too expensive. Too expensive compared to what exactly? What is it too expensive to? Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to address is the where people are saying that, well, is it affordable to everybody? Is it affordable to the average Ghanaian? No, probably not, because not every house can cater to everybody. There are certain places I can't go and buy a house. I can't afford it. So it's not I'm not the target market, because I cannot afford those houses. Not every house can be catered to everybody. Not everybody that's rich wants to live in a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom house. I said not everybody. That doesn't mean everybody, okay? So please, before you try and come for me, right? So it's just like that. Some people who have the money want to buy a house that's 1,500,000 or whatever. They have the funds for that. If there's a house that's selling for that price, they like it. That's their target, right? If there is a house going for $30,000 and someone can afford it, that's their target. That's what it is. So I think there's nothing in this world that you can buy that is really targeted to everybody. You can eat, even if you compare supermarkets, right? There's some people that will never shop in Aldi's because they feel like it's below subpar. I mean, it's not. I shop at, I used to shop at Aldi. You see what I mean? Like, there's just some people that prefer to buy their stuff from Waitrose because it has a particular type of brand about it. And even though the apples may have been sourced from exactly the same place as Aldi, they will rather pay an extra pound for the apple that came from Waitrose just because it's a brand. And that's what this all comes down to. You cannot say that something you cannot say that something is not being catered to all Ghanaians, because there is no market that is for all Ghanaians. There are some people, even if you buy tomatoes, that can't buy the full bucket of tomatoes. They can only buy 1 or 2 because that's as far as their pocket can stretch. And that's just life. So all this, it doesn't cater to Ghanaians. Yeah, because some people can't afford it, and I can include myself in that bracket, so I'm not even being bougie about it. There's some things that I can't afford. So if you can't afford it, maybe you should save towards buying a piece of land somewhere and build a house. It's going to take you however long it's going to take you to do it, but it probably will come out cheaper because you don't have the developer's costs on top of it. But if you're a developer, you can't work for nothing. Do you go to work for free? Nobody goes to work for free, so you can't expect someone to sell at cost price or sell a house of that magnitude and make $2,000 profit on it. It's not possible, because what's the point? Why are we going to get out of bed? And I'm not trying to have a rant about this, because I'm going to say this again. This is not about the barn style houses. This is about all houses in general. I'm just saying that you can always find something cheaper. It's just that it may not be comparable. So cheaper, yes. Comparable, no. That's the difference of what it is, right? You can get, I'm going to say this. You can pick up a woman, right? 2 beautiful women. They look comparable. They can even be twins for you. Like, they can be exactly the same. One's got a great character. The other one hasn't got a great character. There's no like absolute comparable when it comes to 2 different things. I hope you can understand you can understand what I'm trying to say here. It's impossible to build a house and cater to everybody. The houses are marketed towards who they're marketed towards. Okay, so if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. That's fine. No one's judging you for not being able to afford it. It's fine. Those that can afford it will buy it. As I said, when it comes to those properties, some people have already moved into the houses. They have already been sold. Usually when it comes to things like this, The further along the developer gets, the more the price goes up, right? Because they've done more work. People can see the potential of the houses, and so the price tends to go up. So if you're looking for a house that's really, really affordable, that's still really nice, you're going to have to buy early. But then at the same time, when it comes to buying early, there is also going to be a risk factor involved, which, you know, we've seen before. So that's the difference. So you weigh up your costs, because I'm guaranteeing you 6 months from now, those houses will not be 279. I'm sure of it, because they are so nice and they are selling. Okay, the boys are actually doing another development somewhere else, which is, I haven't even covered that because those houses are more expensive. But yeah, but I do get your point. Now, I'm not going to say this video and do this video as one-sided, because I do understand your point as well, because at the end of the day, it is hard to reach. Because I mean, I don't have 279 in my bank account. I don't. And so, yes, sometimes it is difficult to access some of these things if you don't have access to a mortgage. There are actually mortgage facilities available in Ghana. You can go that way. Or you have to maybe sometimes, you know, when there's something that you want, you have to think outside the box to make it happen. The boys can be open to some type of negotiation. They can be open to some deal. And I keep referring to them, but in anything in Ghana, everything is negotiable if you come with like a genuine offer, or you come with like a structured plan as to how you want to do it. Most people will not say no to money that is gonna somehow what am I trying to say? Nobody's gonna turn down money if there's real genuine interest involved, right? Just like Shark Island, the same thing. So I'll use Shark Island as an example as well, right? So those houses, I did those houses as well, and a lot of people again were saying it's too expensive, too expensive to what, compared to what, or to who? How do you say something's expensive, especially if you haven't been there, you haven't felt the atmosphere? So I understand buying something when you haven't been there, you don't get the full feeling of what it's like. Now I'll tell you, Shark Island has this wonderful, tranquil feeling about it. Once you step onto the island, you absolutely feel it. And I know those houses aren't for everybody, but they are for some people. And actually, I'm going to say this, right? I think it's unfair to slander someone's business when you have no idea about it. I just think it's just, we have to stop this. Just trying to destroy someone's business when you haven't had a bad experience, like you really actually don't have anything good. There's no reason for your negativity. Like there's nothing. Like you see a video and you say, oh, it's too expensive. Oh, this building is not going to last. This guy's a crook. I mean, if you're going to say something like that, have a basis for saying it, because it's unfair to trash someone's business, something that someone has worked so hard for. I don't know, we have this culture of doing that, and I think it's unfair. I'm repeating that a few times. I just think it's unfair to do that. Unless you have basis for something, if you have nothing nice to say, just move on. It's not for you, it's fine. But I think when it comes to the apartments at Shark Island, starting out at 139, I don't think is a crazy amount. You cannot build for $50,000 and make a profit in Ghana anymore. It's so difficult. The land alone for you to even start building is going to cost you probably somewhere around that, depending on where you're going to buy it. Unless, of course, you don't mind going out where there's no infrastructure, where you may not have internet. If you don't mind those things, then hey, by all means, ignore what I'm saying. But I've been here a long time, and there's things that I've seen. I have seen with my own two eyes people that have bought properties in certain places because they bought it on the basis that it was cheap. And then they come and they're like, it's too far, and now they want to sell. Okay, I definitely have talked about this before. These things happen. Like you can't go around just saying stuff willy-nilly. Go to the properties. If you go to the properties, in fact, I challenge you, go to Shark Island, go to see these barn-style houses. If you still have nothing good to say about them, if you still have negative things to say, then by all means come back, comment on the video and say, I went to these places and X, Y, Z. Then your comment is completely valid. But if you're just seeing a video and you haven't been there and you're just talking because maybe something bad has happened to you in the past, maybe you've had like a bad experience, You can't apply that one experience to everything. You just can't do it. Yes, we can always find a cheaper property. There's always going to be. But my point is, so my points for this video are: one, stop trashing people's businesses that you don't have a reason to trash. Two, if something is too expensive for you, it's too expensive for you. You are not the target market. It's fine. That's okay. No one's calling you names. No one's saying that you're broke. No one's insulting you. It's not that. You just don't have the budget for it. It's fine. And stop trying to compare and saying that, well, I can get it cheaper somewhere else. If you can get it cheaper somewhere else, that's fine. If you can buy 20 million plots in, I don't know, somewhere that would take you like 4 hours to get to work every day, by all means, go ahead and buy it. No one's saying don't do it. So I'm just going to check my mic very quick. Okay, the light's off. I thought my mic went off. No one is saying that you can't. You can always get cheaper, but that doesn't dismiss something that somebody else has done or something else that is available on the market. It doesn't dismiss that it is of that value. Honestly speaking, most people, when they build houses, they want to sell them. So there's no point in building a house that I'm selling for $1 million. Meanwhile, you can clearly see that the house is only worth 200. No one in their right mind is going to do that. Everybody that is a developer wants to sell their property. Okay. Now that's not to say there are some delusional people out there, because there are delusional people out there. But I'm saying for the most part, most developers build a house, they want to sell. And you have to remember, sometimes these things, there is an element of negotiability. Is that a word? Negotiability? There is an element, I'm forever making up words, I swear. There is always an element where you can negotiate certain things. So negotiation, this is Ghana, negotiations are always open. It's always on the table. You can always do that. So that's all I came to say today. So it wasn't really about having a rant. I just wanted to put a few things out there to challenge some of the comments that are going around. Because like I said, I personally have been to these properties. They are beautiful. Shark Island is beautiful. The Barnstar houses are beautiful. I have some more property stuff coming up. I can't wait to show you all. I'm excited about this real estate journey again. Just because I think properties can be amazing, and when you feel good in a house that you've purchased or that you've built, it gives you a sense of purpose. It makes you feel good about yourself, your life, your lifestyle, and all of that good stuff. So hey, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say, really. I hope you've enjoyed the video anyway. Let me know what you think in the comment section about what I've said. Has it made you rethink your comment? Has it reaffirmed what you thought? Let me know what you think. I'm open to hearing. I'm not saying that I know everything, because I'm not God. But I would love to hear your opinions. Give me your feedback in the comment section, and let's do this. Let's keep going. Okay, so if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.